I'm joined this week by Sjoert Brink. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much. Very nice to be here.
So my first question is always, how did you learn bridge?
I started playing bridge when I was 12 years old, I think. And actually, I learned it from my older brother. My father was like a big organizer in the Netherlands to organize bridge tournaments that you go from one pub to another pub. And he needed someone to get the score slips. And that's where my brother and my brother hated it. He hated it completely. So he said, next year, I'll be there to play so that I don't have to make the score slips. So he was trying to read the books and things like this. And then suddenly he realized he needed a bridge partner. So he asked my father, but my father said, no. Then he asked my mother. And then he said, Sjoerd, you have to do it. I said, yeah, okay, but I don't want to, I would say that I don't want to read books about bridge. You just explain it. And we were like, it was still in the 90s. And in the Netherlands, played 4-card majors. But my brother, I'm doubting if he was reading it right, but he told me you have to open your highest 4-card major. So basically, we always with like 1 spade, 2 hearts, 3 diamonds, 4 clubs, and it was a drama, both balanced. But anyway, this was like the way that I started bridge. And then 1 year later, I played my first tournament with my brother. And we became last almost or something like this. But this was like the start of the bridge Sjoerd Brink.
Does your brother still play?
Yes. He is actually quite a good bridge player. He plays in the highest league in the Netherlands. And he was once the coach of the under 25 who became European champion. And he became himself also European champion in the students. Under 31, I think it is. So he's a pretty good, competent player. When I turned out to be Tito better, he thought it's better that he focused on his other career, which he's actually quite good at, to be honest.
So he got a real job and let his little brother be the bridge star.
Yes, but he's super happy. I remember I played in 2011, the World Championships in the Netherlands, and he was there like every day. He had some days off from work, and he was completely go shoot. So it is super nice, and he hopes I will win most of the time. So it's perfect.
That's fantastic. And then, did you get involved in the junior program in the Netherlands?
Yeah, so I started to play like 11, 12 years old. At that time, there was under 21 team and an under 26 team. And when we played the Dutch under 21, brother and I, we became like number 4 or number 5th. Then we got an invitation to join all the trainings like once every month. And from there, selections were there for the national under 21 team. And basically, as soon as we were there, we played in the Dutch in the 21 team. I was at that time, I was like 13 when I played the first time in the 21. I was like the youngest ever. And when I turned 15, there came another guy at the training. That was my partner, Bas Drijver, also with his older brother. And then, then we became super good friends. And in the end, we started to play with each other also. So it's a kind of a long story back in the days.
Do you remember a time when you were like, oh, I might actually be really good at this game? Was there like a moment for you?
Well, how could I say it? It was like when I turned, I think 14 or 15, I became Dutch champion together with my brother in the 21. And for me, I thought, wow, this is me, yeah? Dutch champion. It's like super good. And then I thought everybody should know me. I'm like a big famous guy. So then what happened was I was in the train to Utrecht and there was like someone. So I thought, nice. I'm there. I sit there. In these times, there was no mobile phones or whatever. So in the train, you have to, you could either watch out the windows or you have to have a conversation. So I started to have a conversation and she was like, and I said, well, listen, I know I'm quite famous, but and she said, you're not. I said, okay, I guarantee you at least one guy in the whole train knows who I am. So she said, absolutely not. So I had to stand up and I said, "Listen, what's my name?" to someone. And then an old man, just like 27 or whatever age, he said, "I have no clue who you are, but that girl over there where you're talking to, that is like Anja Schijs. Apparently, she was a big superstar in the Netherlands. I had no clue of. So I made a complete fool out of myself, and I thought, oops, bridge is such a small game. So even if you think you're famous, nobody ever will know you. This is my life.
Yeah, now you actually are famous, and probably on that same train, no one would know who you are, right?
Indeed, indeed. So believe me, I'm not famous at all. This is something what I definitely know. But indeed, when you are the best in the Netherlands, when you became the champion, you think you're something. And actually, when I thought this is what I want to do, was there is always like a tournament during Christmas times between France, Belgium, England, and the Netherlands. And it's like 1 week before Christmas. I was there to play, and that means 1 week not going to school. And that I thought this is the thing. If I can do this and not going to school, I love it. So that was actually the first time that I thought, Sjoerd, maybe focus more on bridge.
Even though it's not a good way to pick up girls.
It's definitely not a good way to pick up girls. It's actually the good thing if you talk about the bridge world and things is in life, I'm definitely not a handsome guy. But in the bridge field, I'm there. The girls see me. Oh, but in real life, and nobody. So I'm kind of in the world of, how would I say it? The bridge world. It's like, it's nice for me that at least some people are seeing me, but what can I say?
Yeah, you're a bridge 10.
Well, I don't think so, but it's kind of, yeah, in the bridge field, I have some advantages that I don't have in real life, so. But I actually never ever had a bridge girlfriend or things except for now. I'm now dating Katarzyna Dufrat already for more than 3 years. And it's actually nice to have a relationship with someone who plays bridge. She's actually very good, so it's nice that you can talk about hands and yeah, I like it.
So, did you say that you met your partner, Bas Drijver, in the junior program when you were like a
Yeah,
teenager?
yeah. Actually, he played with his brother, and I also played with my brother. But it was, I would just say it. It was in the end, it was quite clear it would be the best for the Netherlands if I would play with Bas. But we were quite young, so yeah, we definitely played at the 1 and the 25 teams. But you always have an other partner, and there was always like a big fight between us. Like I thought I was the best, and he thought he is the best. And basically, we were not playing with each other really. Yeah, if there was a mistake, I blamed him, he blamed me. It became so bad that I think it was in Salt Lake 2002. We played like the pre-Olympics exhibition for Northern Europe. I think it was North America, South America, North Europe, South Europe. Like with 4 teams in the 25, and we played with Andreas, Mark Vatsen, and Martin Schultz. Actually, this tournament, I remember it was very clear that at the last card of the tournament, said to me, "Shoot, look at this card correctly. It was the 5 straight. This is the last card I ever play with you." So what happened after? We were playing the final, and it went to extra time, overtime, because it was a draw. But there was something with the organization. There was no overtime time. So in the end, they decided USA and Northern Europe, they got all the gold medals. But what appeared was, and this I super like, is that there were not enough golden medals. So we were all there as the winners, but some of us got a golden medal and some of us got a silver medal. And obviously, you can guess I got the golden medal and Bas the silver medal. So on the last card he played, it was very clear that I was the better player. So this was 2002. Then we started to play again in 2006, I think. And in 2006, I had a conversation with Bas, and Bas is like, he's a wise guy. He's very serious guy. So he said, "Sjoerd, one thing. If you play, we play. We play serious in the club games, on the trainings, on the league, everywhere, wherever we play, we need to be at our best." And where sometimes before, I just at the club, I had some drinks, I made laughs. He said, if we play together, we all have to be serious. And then actually it turned out quite well. Every hand we played, we analyzed, we sent emails to each other. What do we mean by this card, this card? How are these bidding things? And yeah, I realized if you play every hand with your partner as it is the most important hand. This was something I never did in my life, and this helped my bridge so much, so much. It's incredible. And this is, I think your podcast is also about how you can become much better in bridge in a bridge partnership. And one of the things I would definitely recommend, play every hand as a serious hand. It is your bridge partner. It is like the most important work guy for me. I work with him all the time, and you have to be serious in work. So also with this, and yeah, that makes it better and better. And yeah, that's how I feel about the bridge and the partnership. For yourself, if you want to get better in bridge, one of the most important things is, I think, to find a solution for a bridge problem. And with find a solution, it's not like a double dummy problem, but you open one or trump, how can we bid the best? Or we open one club, they bid one spade. How should we bid after this? They open two clubs position, we double. What is the best solution? How could we bid much better than before? So everything else was normal, how you started. And the first convincing basically was one of us two clubs was asking for forward major, and transfers became like after 5 years, but it made sense because they found a solution for something what was a big problem, because you couldn't bid too hard non forcing and too hard forcing, so then you had to bid 3 hard and it was like not working. So I believe the bridge world and the bridge level, we are still, how would I say it, in the East, maybe the 90s. We don't invent new things, almost not. And so, which means that there is so much to invent and to evolve to make the bridge level higher and higher and higher. If you think about bridge, if you really think about bridge and how and what, that is a way to get much better. The end result, if it's something what is it worth or not, doesn't matter so much. But the mind to know, wait, how can we play this? Is there a solution that we can make it better? If you do this, your mind gets better in bridge. And this is, I think, the way to improve yourself as a bridge player.
How do you maintain that level of intensity of treating every hand like it's the last board of the Bermuda Bowl? That just seems exhausting.
The fact is, if you train it like every board is this, the fact is there is no difference in any board you play. And the good news is, and actually this is, for me, it's super weird. For me, I don't get nervous for finals of Bermuda Bowls or the Rising final or the Solway Knockout finals or things like this, because I know what it is. I know I just play my hands and I do. And I see, and this is actually what I like a lot. There was like in the 90s and in the 2000s, the Nick Nicol team, they won so many on the last 16 boards. 15 boards. When it was close, they always win, 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 win. And nobody had any clue why. And now I see why. They just win because they play their game. And all the others, they got nervous. Oh my God, shall I beat Nicol? My God, this is, and they get nervous, they make mistakes. And if you just play your hands, you are so much better than when you think in your mind, like, if I make this contract, I will win. This is all you should not think about. When I play with Bas, I just know if I do my thing, usually I will win. And sometimes we are behind after the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, when I come there at the bridge table, I see the fear in their eyes. Is it possible? And it's almost never ever possible, just because it's the last segment. They're thinking, what if we beat Klikowski, Brink, Drijver, and they will not. So this is something what I realize, and that's definitely because of Bas. If you play every hand like it is the last hand, there is not a last hand of the bridge tournament, of the final, whatever. It's just a hand. And when you play every hand the same, your level is always that high. Yes, then you don't feel any more pressure or not, because you know, if I do this, most of the times I win. What can I say?
Did that take a lot of getting used to? I think you said it was around 2006 that you and Bas got back together. That new philosophy, did you slip into it quickly or did you really have to work at it?
I definitely had to work at it because I was always the guy who was making jokes and be not super serious at the bridge table. So what was said to me, should you have to find another partner, like your brother or whoever, some friend, where you can also play and you can just throw the all cards. But don't do it with me. And that's what I had. I had Bas, and I had to play always serious. Yeah, I played with my brother, with some friends, and I didn't have to be serious.
So nowadays, what does your work with Boss look like?
Bas and I, basically what we do is the hands we play, we analyze. We are bidding many hands and then we have like in a week like 8 hours that we make a phone call to each other, or I go to him, he comes to me, and we talk about bridge, mostly about the biddings or the defense. The clever play is something for yourself. This has nothing to do with your partnership. And I actually, my role is to invent new things. And Bas's role is to say, I accept it or not. And from all the things I invent, I think 80% Bas said, bye bye, we don't do this. What is quite sad for me, but also quite good because he knows what you play, if it's fit in the system or not. It's like what I was really annoyed about was I was annoyed at myself. I remember the bidding like one club, they overcalled two hearts. So whatever you play, the most played double is I have 4 spades, and 2 spades I have 5 spades. So the two bits are showing 4 spades or 5 spades. So it should be 100% better to say double I have 4 or more spades, and to spade partner I have a good hand without 4 spades. Because this makes complete sense. You have an extra bit. So for many hands, it works much better. And you can play forcing with 5 spades, non-forcing, etc., etc. So, but then I had to develop it more and more. And it was so weird because in the end, I didn't see all the solutions. Although I saw some advantage or big advantages, I couldn't work it out with everything. So I said to Bas, listen, this must be something. He said, Sjoerd, absolutely. But if you cannot find out how to deal with it, we will never play it. I said, but you can help me. He said, Sjoerd, no. When you figured it out, then I will see it one more time. But so far, we will never play it. Which is good because I think about many solutions. I know basically how we should do it. And if it's not working in my head, then yeah, it's super hard. I remember another thing that they overcalled 2 clubs, like one major, they overcall with 2 clubs. And then this was an idea of Mr. Martens. He said you should play double is 4 more hearts. So then you have like 2 diamonds and 2 hearts for all those things. And he said 2 diamonds is a good hand with spades and 2 hearts show diamonds. And with hearts you start always with double. The idea itself is super good. But then you have to make all the bits. What if they bid 3 clubs, etc., etc. And I remember that in the end, we had 18 pages about one major and they overcall with 2 clubs. And then I thought, Sjoerd, this is so much. I mean, there are so many options, so many bidding things. And if you make a solution that's 18 pages, it's a lot you have to remember. So we started to do it. And the first year, bidding one major and they overcall with 2 clubs, it happens 3 times. And 3 times in a year, it sounds like this is like a super normal auction, yeah? But sometimes you just have 8 points or whatever, and you can bid and 3 cards steered, so you only bid 2 major. So that it really happened what we all agreed. It almost never ever was there. And then in the end, Bas said, Sjoerd, this is too difficult, so bye-bye to it. What makes sense?
Even in a partnership as long and tenured as yours and as serious as yours, you're still finding that line between, all right, this is best, but also, can we remember it? Does it come up enough to be useful?
Indeed. And I definitely think as a professional, you should be able to remember everything what you agreed. I mean, so like some weird things. We open one spade, they bid 3 clubs. And now we bid 3 diamonds as like an invite in spades. If you open one spade, they bid 4 clubs. We bid 4 diamonds as a slam try in spades. And now what happened was I opened one spade and they bid 5 clubs. By the way, if you open one spade with only two clubs, two diamonds, also spade fit. So one spade, two clubs, two diamonds, so spade fit. One spade, three clubs, three diamonds, so spade fit. One spade, four clubs, four diamonds, so spade fit. And now it went one spade, five clubs. And I had a slam try in spades. And then I realized, why didn't we agree this at the five level? Yes, sometimes you have only diamonds, but way more often you have also something in spade, because you are very short in clubs usually, because they bid five clubs. So the chance you have something in spades is quite big. And now sometimes you're weak and you bid five spades, or you're strong and you bid five spades. So partner never ever can do it. So I thought, okay, this has to be spades. So I bid five diamonds. All pass. I went -5. And I said to Bas, listen, what do you think? He said, Sjoerd, you're absolutely right, but we never agreed it, and you cannot do something what you didn't agree. After this board, we said, okay, five diamonds is also a spade. Anyway, it should be normal because of all the other things that it is. Like,
Yeah, that consistency can be really important, having the same basic agreement in a lot of different auctions.
indeed.
Are there any bidding inventions that Bas has said yes to that have stood the test of time that you still play that you think are really good that you might share with us?
Yeah, for sure there are many things. For example, what I like nowadays, but this is more like the newer things, is that we always use two diamonds as a good fit in spades. So if we, or in the major, so one heart, they of course one spade. We bid two diamonds like 9 or more, with three hearts, and two hearts like 5 to 8, 9. Because these hands are the most often that you have some hard fit and you want to know how much you have and how strong. And this is super easy to remember, and it's like always like the same. What I definitely like is our bidding for if we don't know to go to slam or not. We don't do the qubits anymore, but we are only saying my hand is good, my hand is great, or my hand is minimum, or my hand is super bad. So, for example, we play in spades, and I say four clubs, let's go to slam. My responses are four diamonds, I have a super good hand. For hearts is I have a minimum, but not a bad minimum. And for spades, it's don't do it. And after four diamonds, the most hands are like four diamonds. Then my partner can say, I did a slam try, but four spades, not more than that. Or for hearts, I like it. And then I can say, well, I bid already four diamonds, now I sign off, or I bid more. So the idea, what it was before, like you need to have this qubit, it's not so important anymore. I think it's more important that you make it when you have the 12 ticks or not. And sometimes, yes, obviously, everybody can argue. Sometimes you miss in one suit the ace and the king. Even if you miss that, sometimes they don't find the lead. So you still make it, and sometimes they do find the lead. But more often, you know exactly if you make a slam or not. And if you just do the qubit, it's way harder because you're not feeling if you have already extras or not and how you mention this. Well, another thing what I like, but this I think everybody should play. If you open and they bid something on the one level, Reno Trump should be I have a major, very strong, a solid major, and then I can bid for major, so it's in my hand, so they don't through the suit, through the opener. In the life of what we do in bridge, we have to think a lot which hand should be the declarer. And we're trying in the bridge field, sometimes with transfers or with things, but so far we are not there yet. I think if you open, you should be the declarer, and especially if they're overcalled, you definitely should be the declarer. But also if they open on my right hand, my partner should be the declarer. That the guy on lead is the open hand. So how can we make it that the other guy is playing the hand? And this is something where we are working on. Obviously, it's also not easy. And Bas many times said, sure, I like it, but no. But this is something where I think the whole bridge field should work on. And another thing is, I know that if you're in the first seat, you have a chance of basically 28% to be the declarer. Second seat is 26, third seat is 24, and fourth seat is 22%. But this means if you are really professional, that you know if we play only three boards around, four boards doesn't matter. But if you play play keyboard and there's one of the partnership is much better than the other ones, he should declare more hands. So especially in tournaments, you should always think about it when you put somebody north, east, south, or west. And this is like the edge you want to have in any match. So this is what I think about and how I deal with it. And I think to take all these small advantages, every player can come from a okay player, a good player, and even a great player by thinking more about bidding. How do we handle it? How do we put it in the right hand, on the right side? Who's on lead? Who will not be on lead? How can we put maximum pressure? Things like this, and also like where do we sit? Do we sit north or south, east or west?
Outside of the work you do with Boss, what do you do on a day-to-day basis to improve your bridge game?
So with Bas, I practice. Obviously, I do play bridge, and I think it's also important, especially in long tournaments, that in the end of the tournament you have your energy. I have a hobby that I do marathons. I run. But it is very important to be like mental and physical in kind of a very good shape. That you are also, when the tournaments get longer and the days get longer, you don't get that much sleep. That you are there still. So that's also important.
Do you exercise while you're at a bridge tournament?
I don't exercise, but I always I go out for small runs, like 6 miles runs, 7 mile runs, things like this, always in the morning. Because if you do it in the morning, I think you're on. You're like more there. You're more focused than when you're just out of the bed and you start to play bridge. I don't believe in that. I think when you go out of bed, your brain has to start up, and when you go out for a run, it's on. And then you boom, you can start.
So every day at a bridge tournament, you run 6 miles?
Maybe not every day, but definitely the most. Like the last national in San Fran, and there is like a very big group with John Kraniak, Joe Wooldridge, David Bexley, Zach Krosek, and many others. We run with all of them, and we have some talks about bridge hands, about life, about how you feel. And I think this is very important, to be honest.
Do you drink during a bridge tournament? Drink alcohol?
I was always drinking. I didn't drink now for like the last year. I didn't drink. I don't think that alcohol is good during bridge tournaments, but I also think that it's more if you have like one drink after the game to help you calm down, relax. If that's also what you normally do, I don't think it's a problem. But if you drink too much, it might get a problem.
What sort of review of the hands do you and Boss do during a tournament, after a tournament?
The hand analysis when we play a tournament, basically only if there's something really wrong, I talk after the match. I never talk during the match, but during the first quarter, second quarter. But after, when the quarter is done, sometimes I say, was it this or this? But I strongly believe in a tournament is a tournament, and the analyze should be after the tournament. And what I think actually, and what I super like, is when you go out after the day, that you don't talk about bridge, because I think your mind should get out of the bridge and get more things. So in my teams, basically, we don't talk about bridge. We talk about personal things, about hobbies, about life, whatever. And if you talk about bridge, it's more like some nice stories. I never speak about bad hands or whatever, but sometimes good hands, or sometimes that the guy made a revoke or something, like something weird at the table. But I think analyzing bridge hands during a tournament makes you lose in the end, because the energy you lose there, you need at the end. So it's super, for me, you are super amateur if you talk about bridge during dinner.
So after the tournament, do you go over every hand that you played?
It depends. If there are hand records, yes, but they're not always hand records. I think USA is quite bad. If you compare the tournaments in USA and in Europe, you see all the results, you see all the hand records, you see all the bidding things sometimes. And in USA, basically, you see the results sometimes, but never the hands. I cannot find any hands. So this makes it more difficult. And I think that the ACBL should work a little bit on their website to make the score things better and better. Although I have to say, the last time in the rise, they already had it. So and they are doing their best, and I hope they do it better and better every year, every tournament.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it, but we're always a little behind. What do you think separates the, say, half a dozen guys at the very top? I would certainly put you in that class. What do you think separates you guys from the group of, couple hundred people that are below you?
Well, I played the last 6 years with Krukowski in one team, and we noticed there are two kinds of great race players. The kind of Krukowski, who is much better in analyzing hands, in declare play, in defense, and his brain is made for defense and things. And it appeared that basically in Poland they have they first have to bid, and after the bidding they can finally play. And that's their thing. That's every card player there in whole Poland, everyone plays the cards quite well. In Holland, in the Netherlands, we focus so much more on bidding. So for us, the bidding is the most important, and after, unfortunately, we have to play. Basically, that are the schools. And why Bas and I are better than the rest, if you say it like this, it's definitely because of the bidding. We have more agreements. We know much better what we do, when we do it. And that is our thing, our big strength. Our declare play is okay. Our defense is reasonable good, but it's not outstanding. I think our outstanding is the bidding, and that we have agreements about everything. The other group is the group of the Poles. Their bidding is okay, pretty good, but their declare play and their defense is outstanding. So these are the two groups, and you should be at least in one of the groups or in both of the groups. That would be great. I mean, so for example, I think Helgemo is for sure someone like Krukowski, also great in the defense and in the declare play. But in bidding, yeah, there are, I think, for example, the guys from Italy, Mano Di Franco, they work super hard on their bidding, and they are more in that group.
So if you feel like bidding is your strong suit, do you do anything to work on your declare play? I mean, obviously you're a world-class declarer, but if you feel you could be better, do you do anything to work on that?
Yes, for sure you can. We had, as a trainer coach, yes, Mr. Martens. And Mr. Martens always said as follows: here you have 100 hands, and you have to make a plan, and you get 1 minute to figure out your plan. And then you get the same 100 hands, and you get 30 seconds to get a plan. And then the third time, you get 5 seconds to make the plan. And he said the most important is not how you play, but how fast you play. Because if you play fast, if they don't see it's a difficult hand for you or not, if you play toof, 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 the opponents will make more and more mistakes than if you think very long. Because then they know you have a problem, so they are also more focused, etc., etc. So most important is to play fast. And this is something kind of newish, but it works. The faster you play, the better the results. The thing is, if you play fast, you should know how to treat. So you should know this hand we have to draw trimmed, and it's an end play. This and this like this. So you should see all the kind of things so you can play fast. And the other thing, what is always good, is like the bridge master thing. Before a big tournament, I go over the hands just to make it work better. But if you want to be a more successful declarer, play faster. Not play better, just play faster. The same level, but twice as fast.
How much do you guys work with Martens? He's the coach of the team, right?
Yeah. We had many. We had also, after Christoph Martens, we had Luis Lanteron from Spain. We have our own guy for the bidding. It's Guy Mendes de Leon. Yeah, we work with now, actually, since this year. We said bye-bye to the Pierre Zimmerman and the whole team. So we have to find our own trainers and things. But it is quite important to have, because if you want to have an advantage, you have to work for it.
When you were on the Zimmerman team, which is one of the big sponsored pro teams, did he have expectations about how much work, what sort of work you were supposed to do as a partnership?
No, his expectations is that we are well prepared for a tournament, and how we get well prepared, that's us, how we do it. So there were many training weeks that we come all together and we talk about bridge, we practice, but we were responsible ourselves. And actually, from all the bridge players in the world, the guy who works the hardest at bridge is Pierre Zimmerman. He works the most hours, the most times. He is bridge all over. It is incredible. The amount of his work in bridge is phenomenal. He really works for it. So hey, he is the number one in the world, number one in Europe. Maybe not anymore. But and some people say, well, is he that good or things? But for sure, he works that hard for it, harder than anybody else. So definitely he deserves it.
Do you read bridge books at all?
I did do it when I was younger, but nowadays not so much anymore. Except sometimes the bridge books about bridge tournaments, like when are the Bermuda Bowls and things, and I go over the ends of the usually semifinals and finals to see how and what and if I would have done better.
Do you use that for scouting at all?
No, that is also something that is super interesting where we should get better and better is that we should know if somebody opens a preempt, what kind of hands he has. When he overcalls, what kind of, I think to know who you play against, people say we don't care who we play. We will see. That is so bad. You should always know who you play. What is their style? Are they aggressive or not? What about their lead? What is signals? Are they 100% honest? Or are they just doing some cards? And this is super important to know. For example, Brett Moss and Joku. Then they play like white, they play super aggressive, and red, they play more calm. But their leads and their signals are always the same. It's their style. So you need to know who you play and what you can do with it. And so far, the bridge shot is not that ready for it.
What were some of the books when you were younger that had a big influence on you?
I liked Adventure in Card Play and the Bridge Bomb from Alan Sontag. And a little bit later, the book from Sia Mahmoud. I don't remember the name, where he was talking about Heat 1, Heat 2, and Heat 3. And that actually helps me also a lot. That sometimes this is not your day, and then you should be super calm and normal and things. But yeah, so these are the three books I would think.
Well, that's a good place for us to end. Thank you so much. This has been a fantastic conversation.
You're more than welcome, and we will see definitely another time.